Hey guys. Now, if you could only get one car for your whole life, how well would you take care of it? Now apply that to your body. Okay? Let's just leave that there. You can meditate on it. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video today is because I want to set some structure of my personality, and I want you guys to know where I came from, because it's important. Okay, I've been studying astrology for at least 15 years now. I started off as a little kid looking in newspapers and studying how my horoscope was, I started off just like anyone else, okay? And then I started getting into, at 18, I started getting into compatibility. So I started looking at charts different. Well, not necessarily charts, but I just looked at my compatibility with every other sign. So Scorpio with every other sign, okay? But especially the high-ranking ones on the app I was looking at, which was all the earth and water signs. Obviously. Because I'm a water sign, earth and water make mud. Okay, whatever. But we both know that we have more than just our sun signs, okay? We are not an astrology sign. You're not your astrology sign. You and I, we are all universes, okay? We are infinite. We are everything, okay? All encompassed into one being. Thank you, universe. Anyways, so with astrology though, my astrology, it's different because I have been really passionate about finding the perfect sign for me. So I've been looking for the perfect earth and water sign my whole life, okay? But I would never completely rely on myself on astrology, because the thing is, when I was studying it, there was always this veil I kept in front of myself so that I couldn't see all of it for some reason. It's okay, because I am intuitive, I'm Scorpio. So I said, okay, so I met this Taurus girl, but I don't like her because she's not very structured mentally. So I'm not gonna hang out with her. But she's a Taurus, and she's beautiful and all this awesome stuff about her. But she's not structured mentally. And I know that if someone isn't structured mentally, no matter how blasé everything is, everything's gonna fall apart eventually. Domino effect, right? So I stay away from people like that, okay? So my goal in life is to be structured, to be that pillar for you, for my kids, for my wife, for my friends, for my partners, for everyone I meet, for anyone I've ever met in my life, is to be that pillar, okay? That's my goal in life, okay? Now, that's what I looked for when I was looking for a real relationship. So now that I have that real relationship, I'm solid, right? Now I get to learn why the relationship feels weird. Because that's what I said when I met my wife. I was like, dude, this relationship feels weird, but I know you're right for me. When I met my wife, I was like, okay, she has to have my babies. That's what I said. But I said it not in a condescending way or anything. But I said it in a way like, I know that you need me and I know I need you. Okay? That was it. So we have kids and stuff, I have 4 beautiful daughters. But the reason why I mentioned her is because there's always been this off vibe about her. I get vibes. I'm a Scorpio. And apparently I have Pisces midhaven, so I get people. I am pretty intelligent. Just because I seem dreamy doesn't mean anything special. Okay, I am 100% inside of everything in everyone's brain at 99% of the time. Okay, and it creeps me out and it scares me a lot sometimes. But I'm still there and I'm not gonna go anywhere. And I trust you and I love you, universe. You get me? Okay, so communicating with my wife was beautiful, but there's always been something off, like really off, like there's a rotten fish in the room kind of. Okay, so we did this awesome adventure, okay, because I was trying to get away from her because she was off, and she was convinced too that she needed to be with me. So she's convinced, I'm convinced. I'm trying to get her the fuck away from me because I don't feel something wrong. Something is wrong, something is not right? Okay. Long story. It's not really that long, okay? But I'll tell you the important parts. So, we were homeless. We started off in Job Corps together. Beautiful, sparks flying. Everything's so amazing. We're all honky-dory with each other, sparks everywhere, fireworks, excitement. Heavy, gnawing, negative feeling. Gnawing, heavy, okay? So I'm like, it's okay, it's fine. And after I graduate from Job Corps, I'm like, okay, this is weird. I have to stop this. We have to break up. And she's like, no, I'm gonna stay with you. So she stays with me, okay? We end up getting this car, okay? My determination gets at me everywhere in life. Everywhere, okay? But this time, my determination gets entangled with her determination, okay? And her determination isn't as strong as mine. Her determination is more, what do we do? How do we do this? I don't know. Oh my God. I'm feminine, more feminine, right? Mine is determined. I'm the pillar. And she's like the children, okay? In my being, in my existence, my reality, my life, my world. Okay? So that's what we have in my world. So she's here, honky-dory and stuff, the child, right? And I'm the pillar, okay? Now, what eventually happened is we get this car, we're like, okay, we're driving to Canada. Goal set, ready, set, go. We go, right? And then I'm like, okay, we're driving. And then something nags at me again. We're not supposed to be together. It nags at me so hard that I'm like, look, Jazz, I'm gonna leave you here. We can't be together. And she's like, fine, do it. And I'm like, no, I can't. And so she follows me around and I can't get her away. And so I try to fight her off, but it doesn't work. Right? Because the Scorpio Taurus compatibility and then the pillar energy, that's all stable. And it doesn't, oh, I'm just gonna run off. Like, oh, it doesn't do that. So I'm stable and structured and I'm not going anywhere, right? But I'm telling you, something is off. Just go. You go. Just go. You'll be better off. No, I don't believe you. Hunky-dory, right? So, fine. You stay with me then. So she stays with me, okay? We're together. We end up going through a lot of negative energy. And our car isn't that dependable. It's only supposed to get us to Canada. It's not that perfect or dependable, but it's gonna make it because I structured it that way, okay? But the strangest things happen when you think that everything is gonna happen perfectly, right? So we're in Oxnard, my birth town, my birth city. We're in Oxnard, and we meet this dude, and he's a crackhead. And he decides, hey, can you give me a ride somewhere and I'll give you $3,000? And me with my childlike brain, I trust and love everyone brain. Sure, man, let's go. I trust you. You're light, you're love and light, just like me. and we can do this together. I trust you. Yeah, let's go, man. So we take the car, our transportation, and we drive. Oh man, we drive like 200 miles, 300 miles in one day. Probably 100, something like that. 100 or 200 miles in one day. And it's midnight. Okay. We get to his house with his parents. And turns out his parents are addicts too. So we went 100 to 200 miles back in the wrong direction. Okay. Me structured. I'm going back in the wrong direction. Out of frustration. Because I'm arguing with someone trying to defend myself, trying to get away. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay? I'm a Libra, Mercury, and Venus. So when I communicate, it goes through. But if you don't believe in it, it's going to go through you. And it's not going to be a thing. And it's just going to be done. So I'm still the pillar, but everything I'm pushing out as energy, as positive energy, goes through whatever I put out. So that creates just nothingness. So we have the pillar, and this is, say my Mars, my Sun, and all that cool stuff. And my Mercury, Venus, just keeps going like this. No energy staying. So I'm not able to manifest, right? Okay. Aries supposed to fan flames, man. But there were no flames. It was just earth and water. Energy all around me. Okay? That's what I get with my family. I get to facilitate my own passion. I get to fan my own flame. That's what I learned. That's what I'm learning. I get to fan my fire. Okay, so after we have this situation with after we get there with the crackhead and his wife and his mom and dad and stuff, they have a situation where they end up convincing us to sell our car for the whole income tax thing, okay? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it, right? Our only stability, the Canada vehicle, gets sold. So what happens after that? I get really zenned out. Because they basically took swords and kicked us out of the house. So I just zen out, okay? This is when I learned the whole thing about me being the flame. I fan my flame, right? So when we get kicked out, nothing really worked out after that. And she's still there. So what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So I'm like, okay, well, we're not going back to my family. We're gonna buy a ticket and go to LA. We're gonna go to Santa Monica. So we go to Santa Monica and we get there and we're sitting by this bridge and we're like, what do we do now? And I'm like, I don't know. So we're in Santa Monica not knowing what we were supposed to do. But that was supposed to be in Canada. We were supposed to be in Canada not knowing what we were gonna do. But our emotions got us completely tailspin. I let my Scorpio energy have too much and it just tailspin me out into somewhere I didn't want to be. Okay? But I learned so many beautiful things with my wife in Santa Monica. And then after we got back out of that, after we completely had a daughter, we had children, after we started having children and stuff, we became responsible. We got our own stability, our own place. And now our goal is still the same. Go to Canada. Okay? So our goal has not changed. We're gonna make it there. But we're gonna get financially stable first. That's the goal. But my aha moment with astrology though was when I decided, because I was a truck driver, because it's important to have finances. So that was 100% goal number one, right? But I learned that 100% goal number one shouldn't be truck driving, because truck driving isn't astrology and it has nothing to do with anything with my kids. It just has to do with money. So if I'm a truck driver, I don't have my kids or money. So I was like, okay, let's take my kids in the truck with me. But I quickly learned that kids don't belong in the truck, because they were in the truck, but they wanted to be home and they wanted to scream and yell and moan, right? That got me in an accident, okay? You don't put kids in a tractor unless you know they're old enough not to do that. But I'm ready to upgrade, so I'm not gonna wait for my kids to grow up before I upgrade. So I was trying to do it all at once. So I learned that you don't take young kids over the road with you. Okay, I mean, at least make sure they're 10. You know, they can talk and they're logical and they're not gonna freak out. My daughter's 6. They could all be 6. It doesn't matter. Just make sure that they know how to shut up, because that's really important. Please do that for me, because I care about you. Okay, so make sure your kids are old enough to be in the tractor. Okay. Now, aside from that, after the accident, my wife was like, hey, why don't you look at our birth chart? So I actually looked at our birth chart for the first time. And you know what I found out? Is that my birth chart is really masculine and her birth chart is really feminine. And that made 100% sense to me, because I never felt like she got me. Because everything I put out, it does not get attention enough. So it just gets pushed off to the side. But what I need to do is invest in me. Because I am me. I am all there is. I'm the universe. You know, so know who you are. When you speak, know what you're speaking. When you want your purpose to be known, know that you have a purpose and express that purpose and be the light. And you guys are gonna surprise yourself, because I am.